And so these are some awards for some members of our team. And by the way, we're going to knock this out real fast and just continue eating and plowing through. Jenny and Daryl.
Desserts, I think, coming.
Yeah, desserts coming up. Jenny and Daryl took off.
So you can't leave until you eat it all.
Okay, so you want to... Felix, maybe you should come up here too. Huh? Maybe you should come up here too. Well, while Kim and Felix work this out, I do want to acknowledge just a few people by name for your contributions to the cause since 2003 when we officially rolled out. And you notice the last thing is we're no longer Bouchard.com. We're Epic Sports Marketing. There was a business strategy move behind that, thanks to Scotty LaRue and a couple other guys planted the right seeds at the right time. And but there's been some people who've been with us since the beginning, and certainly Tiffany, who is involved on any given Sunday, as I like to say. Oh, look, you haven't seen you around, so I'm gonna get you. I haven't seen you around a lot. Joyce. Back there, Joyce has been an integral part of the team for a number of years. Probably through the initial phase, when you're kind of just fumbling, stumbling, and bumbling around, not sure where to go and how to do things. Joyce was part of that team early days. You're going to hear from her in just a little while too. Chris, man, the guy is a freaking Iron Man. He's rock solid. You can count on at half past dark to, seriously, because this is not some kind of, for those of you who do the races, if you've never worked at a race, it is really truly a chess move, a chess game in action, and you need the right player at the right time to do the right thing flawlessly. And this rarely do you get second chances. And we get our report card on the Monday after a race, and usually we're getting our teeth kicked in, or people are loving us. And at this last Thanksgiving Day at the Lake Norman Turkey Trot, we got our teeth kicked in for about 2 weeks. Maybe we want to quit, but then there's other races when we score home runs, and we are people like Chris. Chris was an integral part of the team. Steve, who's made a resurgence here, and you're going to hear from him a little bit. Tracy, who is...
You need to raise your hands.
Oh, okay, that's right. Thank you, Ivy. So Joyce, raise your hand so you know, right? And Steve, and this is Chris right here. Tracy is one of the newest members of our team, and she helps out, has helped out in the... should I do this now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. So Tracy pretty much takes care of all the finance part of things now, and which is great because that's kind of her background. And Beth, I think one of the most significant things about Beth is Beth doesn't just come to the races. She usually brings her army of either team and training athletes or people she's influencing and coaching and training with her. And so we love you. We appreciate you for coming out. Hibby, who's been, just solid as a rock. Sorry, this is Michelle. I call her Hibby. The last name's Hibby. And just solid as a rock, always there. And Hibby's unique trait and quality is that she can pretty much do anything that's required. And I have, she was the second person. The first person I made cry was Jenny. And Hibby, I made cry, but you know what? I didn't mean to, but it was just one of those things where we had to get some stuff done, and she didn't realize she's capable of so much. And when she did that, now you see her at a race, man, she's got the swagger going, and so she knows what she's doing pretty much any different place. And then Jeff and we're going to talk a little bit about Jeff here, but we have some in a good way. We Kim and so why don't you go ahead and do these?
All right.
Why don't you do these here?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, yeah. We'll start with this one. Okay. Z kind of just already touched on this, but we put up some certificates of appreciation just for people that just people that we see all the time and just always just been so huge in helping us go to the next level and helping our athletes even when we didn't ask. And this person is definitely one of those people. She comes to the races usually with her group of people, and it's like it's a familiar thing for her to hear Beth Propos Beth Rapeau, please get a yellow shirt and the finish line. Just because, like, you know, if we're at a race and we don't have a person, you know, we know Beth has got our team, and we know, like, if we ask her, she'll say yes. And so,
well, there's something else too.
But she's good.
Well, besides the fact Creeper being good, she's an athlete.
Yeah.
And that is an asset that we need at any given Sunday. We need athletes out there because they have an intuitive feel. If you're not an athlete and never done an endurance event, and you come out there, you're just lost, right? So an endurance athlete knows what's going on. They know what transition is. They know where an athlete. They know how to move people.
Well, and Beth is also a coach too, and so she's a constant encourager, you know, for the athletes that come across. The athletes that that are there. So Beth, I don't know, Felix, do you have anything else you want to say? Because Felix,
it is one of those things, like, you know, she mentioned everything. I have never heard the word no coming out of her mouth. And it's like, it is one of those things, like, you know, come over here, get a shirt, and hurry up, and she's okay, and she's off. You know, and we do appreciate that a lot, and you know that we love you, and we care a lot about you, and we appreciate you, and you know, look for in 2011, stronger and better.
Yep.
Come on up, Butcher. Come get your plate. Give her a hand, guys. Give her a hand. I'm last.
The best for last,
Thank you.
of course.
This is another, and this kind of goes out to a team, because the team is like always there. They're always pitching in. They're always helping out. We do a race for free program, so you can volunteer and you can get credits for a free race. And these guys are always here, and they've always got great attitudes. They're like, hey, yeah, what can we do? And they're always happy, and they're totally giving.
And they also always show up in force, wearing matching gear.
Yes.
And for those of you who aren't sure about the team dynamic, it doesn't matter what sport you do. If you show up all looking the same, you get that certain, you know, swagger, to use that term on Hibbie.
So brownie points.
Definitely brownie points.
So I'm going to ask Tracy Bosch to come over here. It's for Blanchard Park YMCA Tri-Team. While Tracy's up here, I'm just going to say there's 2 awards that we left. So Tracy's is one of them, and it's true to our form. It's in the mail. No, just kidding. You
guys have heard that before.
It's a familiar word, huh? No. But Tracy is the newest member to our team, but she's absolutely been, in a short time span, like, we're just like, I love Tracy. She's like the best. She comes in and she's like, okay, she's like totally organized. I'm like, I don't know what this note says, but can you just take care of it? She's like, sure. And then it's done and it's taken care of. And she's so dependable, so reliable. She's awesome. I love working with her. She's just come in and just been seamless and taken so many responsibilities so fast and been able to resolve them very quickly. So Tracy, your award is in the mail. But we do, from the bottom of our heart, we appreciate you very, very much. So thank you.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you so much.
Michelle Hibbard. So yeah, Z did make Hibbie cry, but here I'll tell you this: Hibbie's one of those people. She's got the biggest heart ever, and she's one of those people that's too, like, you ask her and she has a really hard time saying no. And this is what I've learned about Hibbie. Hibbie has this incredible quality to think that she does not give herself enough credit. And with working with her, I've totally seen her blossom into being able to take charge. And I remember specifically one time, Z's like, okay, we don't have somebody to own the run course for the tri. So, Michelle, you're going to do it. And she's like, well, what? Like, what am I doing? Like, you know, I got to make sure it's all marked. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure if I can handle this. But, you know, she always stepped up to the bat. She always took the challenge. And she's always ready to learn more. And she may have some questions and doubts in the front, but then she always delivers, and she always does an awesome job. So.
And as an endurance athlete with many events under her belt and taking care of athletes for the Team in Training leukemia Team in Training program in the past, and just always constantly being encourager, she's an awesome asset to our athletes, because you can guarantee that if Michelle's on course or doing anything, there's going to be touched by an athlete, which has a different flavor than someone who. So, hey, come on up here. Give her a hand, guys. Michelle Hibbard. Don't break Al's heart. Can I say that out loud?
I've known since I first moved to Florida, and she is someone that's just absolutely. She's been a trusted friend before I even started digging into this.
Yeah, come over here.
But so Tiff, she's just, and she's again, you guys, all these people just, sometimes we lean on our relationships a lot, just, and Beth and Hibby and Tiffany's like another one. She's like she'll never say no. She's always there, and she's always helping out. She's great at customer service, and she has just been like just one of those true friends and invaluable people and friendships that I've made since I first moved here. So she's like as on a personal level, Tiff is so dear to my heart, and but on a group and team level, she has just been so great. Just to be able to know that like if she's at registration or if she's at somewhere, it's taken care of. And she's got the athletes' hearts in her mind because she is an athlete herself, and again, her customer service is one of her greater qualities.
Absolutely.
Come on up, Tiff.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know you do.
All right, so I love this guy. I do. I totally love him. I see my future physically out when I first met him. And I met him at a duathlon. And, he came to the races and just got to know him better and decided that he was going to help us out of the race. And I found out the guy at age 50 plus was working lifting granite, which gave him the physique that he has. And just absolutely just love this guy. He's gone through a lot of adversity this year. But Chris, you are the freaking rock, bro. And we appreciate you. Come on up. By the way, if you're ever at Moss Park or at any race and you want to know, I wonder how the coolers and the aid stations in the beginning right there. He's good.
This next one, it says only one name over here, but it's a couple, like they've been, helping us for quite a while now. And they mentioned something about the Race for Free program, most of you know about that. And it's that quality people that we have find through the whole process. I want to recognize Robert and Donna. Yeah, you guys too. And because they came through the system on the Race for Free program, and it's that kind of people like we want out there every single day, every single time. Robert, he's been helping us during the week, and most of the packets like you guys received, he's the one stuffing those things. He's the one taking care of every single one of you and be sure like every single thing that belongs to that packet, it's over there.
And let me throw something in there for those of you who may not understand. It really truly is a three-ring circus. If registration drops the ball and one person gets the wrong bid, that impacts things in timing. And we've had races where everyone's one off. Multiply that times 400 athletes, and you can see why Z's blood pressure goes up. So we need people with a high attention to detail who can, again, same thing as earlier. You've got to be, whatever it is you're doing, you have to do it A++. That's you, bro. That's you.
Thank you. Come on over here.
Thank you, Doctor. We really appreciate all your help.
Nice meeting you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I won't.
Okay.
There's a trend in our team. If you contact me, you see it? No. All right. There's a trend in our team. If you hunt us down and want a job, we'll pay attention. Okay. And this was probably the second guy, the first.
The first guy.
Probably first guy who chased us down and said, "Hey, you need help with the company," and didn't really have any idea what he was doing. But he came in and he exhibited an A++ coachable attitude. And he was the first taste I had, Scotty, first taste I had of actually having someone who was very capable, more capable than I was. And so it was a pleasure to work with him and to watch him blossom. And he disappeared because he graduated college, and then he got a real job. Then he bought a house. Now he's engaged, and now he's back. helping out because he's discovered when you work too much and don't train enough, you get fat. And he wants to come over and do some races. So please give a big hand for one of the original Rising Stars, Steve Adams.
There are a couple other people that we want to recognize again. Their awards in the mail, but it got left home at our house. So, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, and basically, you know, I was the person in charge of getting those things. And the whole point is this, is, you know, it's like I'm looking from the outside, I'm kind of like, I wasn't looking at the big picture, and I know there's so much people like means so much to every single one of us. And but at the same thing, I said, you know, this thing is gonna. I went to Staples, I got the things. This is gonna be enough. And suddenly the list keep growing and growing and growing. I mean, for those of you, once again, you guys, we're gonna send you guys to you the certificate. But it was my fault. You know, I assume responsibility for that.
Wasn't my fault.
Yeah, it's never your fault.
One of those persons is back there, Carlos. He's been part of the team for the last. Can you raise your hand?
Yeah.
He's been part of the team for the last 4 or 5 months, and another person who's getting through really hard year. And but every single time he's over there, he's willing to work. And sometimes he rides his bicycle from basically Vista to Narcoossee. I mean to Moss Park, 3:30, 4 in the morning. To be there on time because he doesn't have a car, you know, it's one of those things like you say, wow, that guy's.
This morning, no lie, going into Moss Park this morning at before 5, we passed Carlos, and this is what happened. I'm like, hey, there's Carlos. He just slowed down. Felix is on. Oh, he's only a mile from Moss Park. Keep on going.
He's only a mile away.
He's almost there.
And it's one of those things. It's about commitment. It's about dedication. It's about how much you care about things because it was cold. You know, he's riding his bicycle, but as soon as he was there, you know, he got a smile in his face and he's ready to roll. You know, those are the kind of people that they do make the difference in our company, and we appreciate them like, you know, you have no idea. And he knows I love you, and we do care about you, and your award is on the mail. And the other person, like I want to recognize right now, it's huge part of our success in 2010. We are here because of part of her job. She was there with us every single day, and it was really significant for us. And we appreciate her, we love her, and we do, you know, miss her. It is our friend Julia Corbin. And one more year. Thank you so much. You have heard that before. Your awards.
They're usually coming from you.
Well, I can't have Felix take all the blame here because when I did print out the certificates, I did mess up a few. So therefore, it might have been enough. But all right. So we have
Okay. So what I'd like to do is I want to. And I don't mean to get long in the tooth, but there's some people that come into your environment and they're game changers. And sometimes, you know, we've been around now long enough. I hope you guys notice on some of those event logos, 7th annual, 6th annual, 5th annual, you know. I mean, we've been around for a while now. I remember hanging out in our carport with Tom Ward from Track Shack. And he goes, Z, I have to ask you a question. I said, yeah, what's up? He goes, you sure have a lot of first annual events. You know, and this is Track Shack. And we love them. And they were going to be here tonight, but they're doing their own team thing. And one thing I want you guys to know, those 5th annual, 6th annual, 7th, 8th, they're not going to stop. There's no quit in any of us 2, and now 3, and it's not going to stop. You will see the 20th annual Wildman. We'll figure out a way to get it done. But you need vital members of the team to help you execute at that level. And the little guy who's been with us now for, I don't even know how many years now. But he's gifted in so many areas. All the graphics you see now have had his touch on them, all the t-shirt designs, everything. So Jeffrey, come on up here, buddy. And I know Felix has a couple of, I can't get this up, bro.
That's actually
It is one of those relationships, you know, Jeff has been there And not only on the graphic part, you know, operation-wise, he's the guy to go. He knows he got the answers, and most of the time that's what we're looking for. And he's been, you know, huge part of, you know, in this case, for me to step to the next level and try to do my best every single time, and it's because of him. You know, we love him and we appreciate him a lot, and I really believe he deserves another round.
Yeah, give it him. And for those of you who are big dogs in the business world, I'm talking about Fox, I'm talking about Scotty, talking about some of you guys whose past I don't know, you know the #1 defining characteristic in success is leadership. And this is something I've seen in this kid since he was like maybe 19. What are you, like 21 now? Yeah, 21. And it's okay to giggle, but here's a newsflash. The U.S. Navy runs warships on the backbones of 19-year-old men. Okay? So great things can be accomplished, and that age is completely irrelevant. It has everything to do with what you bring to the table, coachability, and definitely leadership. And this kid's got it. And he's actually, in the world of film, all the Champions videos, they're done by Jeff. I mean, so he's one of those guys, you can wind him up and toss him like a grenade, and he'll get it done. Whatever the situation is, he'll get it. He might whine, but he'll get it done. He'll get it done. I'll whine. He'll whine. But we love him very much, and we just want him to, we want you all to know how vital he is to the equation. He is he is Steve 2, version 2 of it. Literally, that's exactly what it is. Okay? All right, so this very last award that we're going to have, the very last award we're going to have, I'm just going to have, and Joyce, you and Steve can just kind of stand up from there and just kind of share it. We have a specific award that we have. We've called a couple different things in the past. It was called the Spirit of Utah.com, and now we call it the Rising Star. And there's nothing about it that means rising. It's basically, here's what a rising star is. They're a person who will work regardless of how they feel. Money never comes into the equation. The location is irrelevant. Conditions are irrelevant. They have a mindset of accomplishment, and they see something bigger. They see the thing that's in their mind. That's what a rising star is. And I'd like for you to give a big hand to our former rising stars, Joyce Fernger and Steve Adams. And, you know, Joyce runs Orange County Fitness and Sports. It's a facility. Another former rising star actually owns this business. B3's Jennifer Cunningham. Now it's Cunningham, used to be Gogol. So Joyce, just share a few thoughts about the experience of your chapter in life with us.
Absolutely. Well, I met Z at a spin class at the Winter Park Y, and it all started with AbbleCare to Spark, and I've been using AbbleCare for all those years. But because of that, I bought some Spark from him. I think he sent me an email one day, would you like to volunteer? We need some volunteers out at a race. Never done anything like that before, so I show up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch dark out there, and he says, here's a flashlight, go park people over there. I'm like, what? Where? Could barely see. And that was the beginning of it all. And I was hooked after that. So I started helping run the events, and that was back when we had a little trailer and had to hook it up, and the whole event went in that trailer every time we started an event.
It was a rider truck. It was a rider truck.
It was a rider truck, and we'd pull it back home, and everything went in their backyard in their little storage facility. And the next meeting, we'd haul it all back in the trailer and haul it back out. So it was a blast. I had such an incredible time, such a wonderful time. And learned so much through that experience too, with working with athletes and working with all these people in this room and meeting Steve and everybody. It's been a tremendous experience. And I am so very, very happy for Routard, and happy that it's morphing into now a bigger organization. And Felix, I knew him when he was pulling people out of the weeds at Lost Park. They're strangled with grass out there, and he's saving lives. And so now he's running the show, and I think it's so incredible. And the kids, oh my gosh, I've watched all of them. The little Ollie was just a tiny little baby. So this has been really very rewarding, watching you from the sidelines now as I watch you guys grow, and I watch where your company's going. And I'm very, very happy to have been a part of it back in those beginning days. And I just wish everyone just the best of success. So thank you very much.
So I'd like to second all of that. But I will say that this whole award is really based on how much you can suffer and then still keep going. There's a lot of times when you're directing events and you're working the events that things don't go the way you plan. And it doesn't matter how long you spend at Z's kitchen table with little sticky notes showing where people are going to go, you're still not going to get those people to go there every time. So I would say that this award is really for people that can always pick themselves back up, continue on with a positive attitude, and help influence the people around them. And working with Buttar and now Epic Sports Marketing, I've just grown so much personally, and my leadership skills have gone just through the roof from the effort that the people in the company put towards your personal growth. I mean, even the volunteers, like, we put a lot of effort into making them feel comfortable doing things that they wouldn't feel comfortable doing. You know what I mean? So that's why you get Michelle and Tiff, who's now just, they can run an event. Don't tell them that. But they could, if they wanted to, they could run an event by themselves. So I think that's just a testament to the culture that we have.
That's awesome. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. Guys, with that said, it is my honor and privilege to tell you who our 2010 Rising Star is. He was physically present at our first race that we ever did. He and his lady friend. There was actually 8 people that showed up to our first running event, and I thought I had once again fulfilled my destiny as a failure. And but little did I know that this relationship was going to go through different forms and chapters throughout time. And in the most recent edition of the chapters, Felix actually, he was the guy I reached out to because of his background at Wet and Wild and lifeguards. I said, hey, our tries are getting big. You think you could whip something up? And so he created our lifeguard component to our triathlons. And every year, we've asked something, and every year it's pretty much, but hey, no problem. And the great thing I love about Felix is the fact that he's a yin to my yang. I have some great assets, but I have some mega liabilities. And for those of you who I may cry, you know what those liabilities are.
There's a lot of people nodding on it.
Well, one of the great things about Felix is the fact that he is definitely the yin to my yang, and love him like a little brother, and he is just a phenom. And I'm so proud to announce to everyone that Felix is going to be taking over Epic Sports Marketing, and we're in the transition. We're maybe about a third of the way through. And every race that we have, that's a win. It's a step in the right direction. And anytime we have a race that we don't win at, it's still a step in the right direction. You want to give any words you want to say?
No, I mean just actually everything that they said. And for me, being the spouse and doing a lot of the kid stuff in the very beginning, you can always tell a person and by their kids and stuff. And I think that. I just want to say kudos to Grace and Heather too, because they've always they truck up to North Carolina, and Grace is one of those kids like Z said about Jeff, you can throw her anywhere and she'd fit it right in. She's a great kid. And Heather too. I mean, they're always like, yeah, sure, that's great. And then after North Carolina, they're like, whoa, that was a whooping. But after 24 hours, they're like, I think we're ready to go back. And that's just what Felix brings to the table. He's like, whew, all right, when's the next one? And he's always got a smile on his face, he's always got a solution. He's not just the guy that'll come to you for with a problem or something. He always has a solution. He's never griping. He's always smiling, and he's just honestly a pleasure to not only have known for these years, but also to get a chance to work. And this company honestly is where it is today, thanks to a lot of what Felix has poured into this past year. So we appreciate you. We love you.
This is the Rising Star Award. This is for you.
Oh,
and,
wow. Grace, Heather, come on.
Why don't you go ahead and share some thoughts and words, and then we're done.
Basically, it is about that. It's about at one particular point, knowing these guys in that race. Probably 6-7 years ago, and knowing that there is something at that point, I knew something was going on. I knew they were really, really cool people, and I said, you know what, I want to be associated with them. And we started building a relationship, a friendship more than anything else. And throughout the years, you know, here I am now with a lot of admiration for what they have done. And more than anything else, because, you know, we are not employees, we are friends. And that's the most important thing. And business apart, and when we need to, you know, pull hairs, and that's why and that's why we're like this, because we do pull hairs. But once that part it's over, then it's over, and you know, he's my brother from another mother, and we're like that, you know. And I love those kids. I love Kim, and you know, they have opened the doors of their house, and that's my family. You know, that's my family, and we're looking forward for, once again, 2011. We're celebrating today 2010. It was a great year, but 2011 is going to be way, way better. We're going to do crazy things, and I know it's going to be in December 2011. We're going to be talking about a lot of good things like happen next year. I'm for sure. I'm positive about that. And but nothing is going to happen without, you know, great volunteers, great Friends for Free people. You know, people like Jeff, people like Tracy, Carlos, Chris, you know, Steve. That they're part of the equation, and you know, if you take any of those pieces out of the equation, it doesn't run as smooth as we would love to. But you know, looking forward to 2011. Love you guys, and you know, let's party.
Guys, there's tons of food, so keep
Please,
eating.
please,
Unless you
please.
got some other kind of Christmas party, that's just